Hi, it's Olga Zarr from SEO Sly. I am getting back to you with the weekly series where I do SEO audits of sites, live SEO audits. So I will now audit this website. I have not prepared for this audit in any way, so we will see how it goes and what I find. I want you to learn more about my SEO auditing process this way, and I want you to kind of get more comfortable with auditing websites like live on the spot, because as an auditor you will very often have a chance of doing that. For example, when you have a call with a prospective client and the client wants you to quickly take a look at their site, and then you can do this kind of live magic. So let's get started. So this is the website. One of the first things I always do when auditing a site is simply browse the site as if I was a normal user. So I am simply like checking what the site looks like, what's the structure, what are the links, what's on the homepage. This is the homepage. And since I've been doing that for a couple of years already, I immediately spot some things. So if the site is in a different language than the languages I speak, I usually auto translate it to English, like I can do it here with Chrome, so that I know more or less what they are talking about. I think this site is, I don't know what the language is, so maybe I won't be guessing that. Okay. So looking at the homepage, I already see a few things. The site is using home as a reference to its homepage, which usually is not a good thing unless you want to rank for home, but I cannot think about situations where you would want to rank for home. So homepage. I also see tags. Okay, the site is using tags. This is kind of a red flag immediately, because in most cases we don't want to use tags as a taxonomy. We want to use categories. So this is a red flag. I will check that in a second in more detail. Let's accept that. Okay, so I see that basically the homepage contains the information, contains like the list of recent blog posts. There isn't really any unique text on the homepage that presents the site, what it does. So I will continue with this manual review, but at the same time I will set up Screaming Frog to quickly crawl this site. Maybe it will find something that's maybe useful. So here is Screaming Frog. Let me paste it. And the configuration, the way I configure Screaming Frog is I usually ask it to crawl sitemaps, auto discover sitemaps. What else? Crawl. I usually also check this crawl outside of start folder, crawl or subdomains, so that I want to know what's there in detail. But of course, sometimes it doesn't make sense to do that, especially if this is like a very huge site. Your crawl may take like weeks. But this is for this site. This is the setting that makes sense. Extraction. So I want to extract JSON LD, schema validation. This is like more of a standard type of configuration. Rendering. I want to render JavaScript. Let's try this. And yeah, this is more or less it. This is a small site, so I don't expect the crawl will take ages. So let's start the crawl. The site will get crawled and I will get back to the manual review. So tags. Okay, I saw tags. So this is more or less, let's see this. So it looks like the category page. Okay, so this is a category page. Okay, home, interior design. So yeah, I see already that breadcrumbs could have been better. As I said, you don't probably want to link to the homepage through the anchor text of home. Let's click here. Okay, another category. Okay, so categories. So basically from what I see, we have categories here and tags. Okay, so let's click on any tag. Let's say this one, and let's translate it. Okay, so wood. So is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? So with tags, you can use tags if you want, if your users are actually using them and if they make sense for your site. But I wouldn't, but if you want to use tags, you probably want to no index them. And let's check if they are indexable. So here is the detailed SEO plugin, which I like very much. It quickly shows you like the title, meta description, all the like most important SEO elements. So I don't see anything here. Canonical is tagged is set to the same page, so self-referencing, indexable. So probably this is not the most ideal solution. You, of course, you can check that in bulk during the crawler, which is now running. uh, Here's another plugin I like very much, link redirect trace. It quickly lets you also see like the canonical tag, whether the page is indexable. And as you can see, this is indexable. We can also, like, of course, view the page source and look for robots meta tag. And as you can see, yeah, we don't even have like the index or no index directives here. So if we don't have a no index directive, it means the page is indexable. We can also quickly check if that specific page, which we think shouldn't be indexed, if it is really indexed, because in some cases those low quality tag pages get stuck in Google Search Console and discovered currently crawl not indexed, which means Google thinks this is like a low quality page, and very often, more often than in the past, simply doesn't index that. So to do that, we simply do site colon, and yeah, it looks like this tag page is indexed by Google. Let's get back to this manual review. Because of course, if you want to do like a full audit, this would take me, depending on the size of the site and the type of audit, this is the job for at least 15, 20, sometimes 40 hours. So what I'm doing here, I'm just scratching the surface and showing you the things that draw my attention at this point, because this is a live audit. I don't know the site. I haven't analyzed it yet. So tag pages are indexable. So this is probably a lot of thin content, because on those tag pages we only have the list of specific articles, and those tag pages, from what I see, they are very general, like furniture, bathroom, heating, yard. So those tag pages don't stand a chance for ranking for anything that would make sense for this site, in my opinion. Okay, let me now get back to the homepage, and let's check the headings. So this is something I always do, and more sites than not always have it wrong. So the way to quickly check headings on the page, you can do it either by using detailed SEO plugin. Here, headings, it shows you the structure of headings. What I like to do, I also like using Chrome Web Developer, which allows you to also see the structure of headings in a more visual way. So you go to Chrome Web Developer, information, view document outline, and this is more, I would say, visually appealing. So the structure of headings looks more or less okay, I would say, but still, as I said, this is like not necessarily the structure you would like to have on the homepage, because the homepage is supposed to like show you the unique selling point of the site. It should contain some content. It should like describe what you are, what you do, who works, here, depending of course on the type of the site, your main services, your newsletter, stuff like that, because here we only have like the list of articles, the recent articles, and I don't really know what this page is really about. So okay, let me view document outline one more time. Yeah, so yeah, these are basically the titles of those articles, and the way we should use headings is headings should be treated like a chapter in a book. So you want to have headings on your site in a way that this is the section that talks. These are our services, SEO services like SEO newsletter, something that, for example, I try to do on my site, but this is not about my site. Okay, so headings, internal linking, like a quick overview. So yeah, this is okay. I see the site is linking to there is a text link to the most recent article, which is okay. Very often I see the sites which do not have any link here, and they only link through read more link, which is like the worst type of link you can have because it carries absolutely no meaning to Google. So that's okay, I would say. We can get rid of those read more links and just leave them to be like on the safe side, on the most optimal side. But I don't think this is like a huge problem if we have those text links here. Okay, so that's it. Let me check. Let's check an example article. Okay, so this is an example article, and what's here? Okay, so I see we have those related texts. Okay, so this is like, okay, so an example article, good. But I would love to see some pictures here, probably, because this looks like a bit thinnish to me. There is just 1,200 around words, probably less because there are other sections. So I also see keywords, meta keywords here. This is like meta keywords have been like ignored by Google for I don't know how many years. I think there are maybe still a few search engines which do use meta keywords, but like unless you're doing it for your own purposes to kind of help you reference that page maybe in some way, that's okay. But if you do it to help Google understand the page or help you with SEO, then probably you are just wasting your time. Okay, so this looks like this looks like a related link, right? Related links, related articles. I am not convinced by that implementation because it looks like the entire box is added as a link. Okay, so this is an image link. So maybe this is not the worst thing in the world. Image link. Okay, so that's kind of acceptable. We have an image link. No, it's not. Sorry. Okay, I can see it now. Figure. Is this? I wouldn't recommend implementing it in this way because like this is an image link. Okay, but I'd rather have simply a normal text link, a normal regular text link. You can say related text related articles, and then you can have an image. And under that image, you can have the title of the article, and the title of the article can be the text link. This is the best type of link you want to have, internal link. And of course, links placed within the text, within the content, are probably the most important ones. Here is one, but this looks like an external link to me. Okay, so internal linking, contextual linking, tags, breadcrumbs, what else? Homepage, which does not have a lot of text. What else can we find here, like on the spot? Okay, so there is pagination. So this is the second page in the paginated series, and let's see if it is indexable. From what I see, it is not indexable. Okay, so we can see, yeah, this is page 2. And the page 2 has no index, no follow meta tag, which is probably not the best thing to do here, because this is, no, I wouldn't recommend no indexing paginated pages, because this is like, this is, unless you are very well interlinked through other pages of the site, through other categories, you have a very clear structure that has been thought over, then I wouldn't add a no index tag in paginated pages. Let's see on a category page. So this is a category page, page 2, and the same story. Page 2 has no index, no follow. So not only is this site telling Google to no follow the links, but also to no index. So which is like, in terms of internal linking, in terms of crawling, Google discovering new articles, like this is not the way to go. In most cases, of course, that depends on the site, but in most cases, you want to have the paginated series indexable and crawlable, because you want Google to see those paginated pages, right? So that's another thing I see. And let's get back to the crawler. Let's see if crawler has finished, because yeah, I was supposed to do it in 10-15 minutes, and I feel that I'm already way over that limit. So, okay, so Screaming Frog has been showing for some time issues, so we may start by simply reviewing those issues. In some cases, of course, those issues won't be like the most important ones. In many cases, they won't be even an issue. So, but you can always start with just checking what's there. So, some HTTP links. So that's probably a huge thing, but as you can see, these ones are redirected. So if they are redirected, then this is not a huge thing, but still there are some links to those HTTP resources on the page, so that can be fixed. But I wouldn't recommend obsessing about that too much. If, for example, in Google Search Console, in HTTPS report, everything is fine. So here we have an example HTTP link, and let's see on what page this thing is placed, because this is like the most important. So this is the HTTP image. In links, we go to in links, and we see on in links where those images are linked from. So from what I see, yeah, they are simply, yeah. So as you can see, they are indicated in the sitemap. Can you see here? So not a huge thing, a matter of updating the sitemap. Let's see the sitemap here. Okay, so this is all-in-one SEO. So probably this is a matter of checking some settings in on all-in-one SEO. I recommend using Rank Math. This is my tool to go, SEO plugin tool to go. So this would be probably my recommendation. And of course, we don't want to have tags in the sitemap. We don't want to have tags, indexable tags. What else? Okay, so let's now see what the Screaming Frog has to say. Probably the crawler has finished working. So let me quickly open the crawler. Of course, I won't be able to go through everything there. but we can at least see some of the reports. So Screaming Frog for some time has been showing issues. So what I always recommend doing is you can sort those issues by issue type, issue priority, so that you can see what Screaming Frog thinks is the worst problem, and you may simply review that. In many cases, probably those issues won't be a huge problem, but it is for you to decide. So, for example, security issues, HTTP URLs. So here we can see that the following images are implemented are HTTP, but we can see that they are redirected. So probably this is not such a huge thing, but we can see that there are links to those HTTP images somewhere. If you go to in links here in Screaming Frog, you can see where those links are placed. And as you can see, the links to those HTTP images are placed within the sitemap. So this is a matter of updating sitemap, maybe changing the plugin that's used to create the sitemap. I see the site uses all-in-one SEO. I would recommend in most cases switching to rank math. Okay. Let me get back to Screaming Frog. What else do we have that we can actually talk about now? Response codes, internal errors. So 1404, from what I see, this URL is probably incorrectly formed. Yes, so this is the problem. So one important thing is that, as you can see, this is issue, this is high. And it may look very scary, but as you can see, the number of URLs it affects is 1. Here we have 2. So probably, unless this is, I don't know, about the homepage, probably this is not actually a high priority issue type. Structured data, here we can see the same thing, 1 URL. But of course, I am just scratching the surface here. If I spent 20 hours analyzing this, probably I would have more to say, but I am just trying to show you how I would do that. Other things, JavaScript pages with blocked resources. So we can see this looks very scary, and it looks like it is about all pages. So the way to go here is you simply want to see how much JavaScript is used on a page and whether that JavaScript, that content added with JavaScript, whether it is actually important, like the content you want to index, and whether Google can actually index that JavaScript content. So let's see here. We can see rendered page. So this is rendered page. And here you can see exactly what resources are blocked. So as you can see, these are not probably the resources that are so important. So here is the rendered screenshot. Looks okay to me. Of course, the best way to check that is to go to mobile friendly test in Google and check what the screenshot looks like there, because this is how and where you can actually see how Google sees the content and see the rendered code there. Compare the rendered code with the source code. So here, high, very high, directives no index. So in this case, actually, in many cases, when you see a no index warning high, this is not a huge thing unless those no index directives have been added by mistake. Here we can see this is about paginated pages, which I already talked about. So this is not a good thing. We shouldn't be adding no index to paginated pages. Some of that relates to tag pages, which is okay, but tag pages, like entire tag pages, shouldn't be indexable. And as you can see, here is this warning again, pagination non-indexable. So the paginated URL is non-indexable. Generally, they should be all indexable unless there is a view all page set or there are extra parameters on pagination URLs, as they require canonicalizing to a single URL. So here Screaming Frog explains that pretty well. H1 multiple multiple H1s on one page, nothing to really worry about. Missing canonicals, the same thing, so not a problem. It looks like we have this homepage with this different we have a different version of homepage which is with those parameters. Let me look at that because this looks like, oh, okay, so this is a search results page. Okay, I didn't notice that. Search results page, usually you don't want search result pages to be indexable, so this is where the no index tag should be. But here we can see that the page is indexable, so this is something that should be changed. Okay, let's get back to Screaming Frog real quick. Screaming Frog. What else do we have? Let's sort them by priority. JavaScript links. So the fact that the site contains JavaScript links doesn't make the site bad or worse in terms of SEO. We just want to make sure that Google is seeing those links. And you can do that, as I said, by simply like using mobile friendly test, comparing source code with rendered code. Structured data response codes, pagination, security, no follow, non-indexable directive. So in the case of this site, I would say Screaming Frog did a pretty good job because like these are actually like the issues I would tackle. Of course, reading through that entire list is one thing you should do, and of course analyze it from using your own experience, your own kind of context and the context of the website, and making sure that these are actually issues or these are not issues, because you cannot blindly follow that list and take it as and treat it as the entire as the truth, ultimate truth. You also want to always pay attention to how many URLs are affected, because it can be like the worst issue in the world, but if it affects one unimportant page, then this is not an issue. So I would recommend starting with the issue that affects a lot of pages. Here I can see that those issues, for example, JavaScript issues, affect the entire site. So I would probably spend more time analyzing JavaScript reliance and JavaScript indexability of that site. So that's for the issues. What I also like to do is simply like go to overview and simply see those specific reports. So internal HTML, how many HTML pages there are. I like to sort them by indexable, non-indexable, and then I quickly can see, okay, so many indexable pages, and I can see tag pages I mentioned at the start. So many indexable, and here non-indexable. What pages are non-indexable? So yeah, what I said there, I can see paginated pages are non-indexable. So this is what I revealed during the manual review, and here moved permanently. So this is basically what I also talked about, those images, redirected images. And here, like by just looking at this report, I can immediately see what's going on. And as I said, this is what I have already detected in the manual kind of start review of the site. Images. There are so many images on the site. That's also something you probably want to pay attention to. You can also like see other details regarding images that may be important in some cases. Size, you probably want to see the size. You can sort by size, like by the biggest images, to see if there are some images that weigh, I don't know, 10, 15 megabytes, because probably those are the images that someone forgot to compress. So this is the biggest image. Let's see. Yeah, so PNG, some PNG image. So that's another part that that is, I would say, more important in the case of pages where speed plays a huge role, and when the site uses a lot of images, the speed is affected. Then you may pay closer attention to this image report. External links, of course, you want to take a look at that. If this is an affiliate site, you have to take a special look at that. Security, the most important thing, mixed content. If there isn't mixed content, the site is in most cases okay. HTTP URLs, something we already talked about. Redirections, you want to see how many links on the site are redirected. By using inlinks, you can see the pages which contain that redirected link. So this is the external redirected link, and it is placed here. So externally redirected links are not such a huge issue. I would say internally redirected links are. So you probably want to see those internal redirections here. But as you can see, this is basically about those HTTP images. So this is okay. This is okay. URL underscore. So yeah, this is this weird else page titles. Duplicates. So as you can see, some of the page titles are duplicates. So probably you want to indicate that in the audit. The same with meta descriptions. H1, you want to see if there are duplicate H1s. There are in some cases. H2s, exact duplicates. So as I'm going through this I don't see like huge problems with that, but I would say images, canonicals, I would say the overall issue of that page, of that site, is overall, I would say, a little bit low quality. Canonicals, pagination directives, yeah. Okay, so this is more or less a condensed version of what you may want to do in Screaming Frog. Final thing you can do, of course, you can put the site in Ahrefs, SEMrush, and like see its history. So SEMrush, this is Ahrefs performance. So I see the site has got a lot of new domains pointing to it in January. It may indicate the owner is building links actively. And my takeaway with building links is build links only when you actually have something to build those links to. I always recommend, I know a lot of people may not agree with that. I always recommend starting with decent content strategy, execution of that content strategy. And once is executed in place, Google has crawled the site, has crawled the content, started to rank it. Only then you may think about like strategically building links to specific pages that got stuck on page 2, because like everyone who's ranking on page 1 has tons of links. But just blindly building links to the site that's like low quality thin, it is simply a waste of money and time. So DR, UR, so backlinks, keywords. So actually I see the site is ranking for some keywords. So what I may do is I may simply check, the site is. So what I may do is I may, as part of the audit, sometimes in the case of a full in-depth SEO audit, I also analyze visibility. So you may look at keywords. What keywords are these? As you can see, some of the keywords are pretty okay. But for example, as you can see, this is image keywords. Of course, this requires more in-depth analysis, but you can, for example, look for positions 4 or 5. And if this is a keyword that makes sense, you might think about optimizing for that keyword specifically, making content better. As you can see here, the pages that rank here do not have a lot of backlinks, do not have a very high Ahrefs rank. So probably this is an easy one. You also want to check what the SERP actually looks like. Is there a featured snippet? Is there an image carousel? What's there? I can see here that those positions, it looks nice. Oh, so many positions, number 1, but if I click here, I see, okay, this is number 1 in the image pack, but number 4 for that. So probably image packs depends, but image packs usually don't get that much traffic. So I can see position 1, great, but here we have position 9. So maybe this would be some optimizations here would be nice, so that the page that also ranks the content, it ranks more highly. But yeah, as I said, I'm just scratching the surface here. So this is, if you're doing an in-depth SEO audit, you should always take a look at what's ranking and some possible quick wins regarding that, in addition to technical stuff, content optimization stuff, on-page SEO, taking a look at link building. As you can see, this is a very, very long thing. So let me get back to some final thoughts. So, as I said, this is not a full audit. Probably I have missed a ton of things, or I have not analyzed some of the elements in as much depth I would have if I were doing a regular audit. So this is just scratching the surface. Tag pages should go. There should be unique content on the homepage. Specific articles, I believe I would make them a little bit longer, a little bit more in depth. I would make sure the internal linking is implemented in an optimal way, like normal text links. I would also make sure that paginated pages, especially on category pages, are indexable, because they aren't indexable now. So this is like the base I would do. And yeah, I hope you learned something from this audit. From now on, I am planning on publishing such an audit at least once a week, so that you can actually learn more about this SEO auditing process. And the purpose is for you to become comfortable with simply like auditing the site on the spot, as I did, and simply spotting the issues, because this will make you a very efficient SEO auditor and will give you a huge advantage over other SEOs. So I hope you learned a lot from this audit, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.